Frank was headed home on Old Buck that night. The light was starting to fail. A storm was brewing in the west, and it sounded like thunder and hail. When all at once a rider appeared beside him, and the stranger's face was aglow. He told Frank to steady himself, because there's something the Lord wants you to know. That's when he saw four riders, each sitting astride a horse. Each horse was a different color, riding hard from out of the north. They came riding in single file and were headed straight toward him. Frank looked at the stranger at his side for help, because the situation looked grim. The stranger told him to hold his ground. There's no need to cut and run. What God wants you to see has only just begun. The first horse was white in color. As they came charging by, the rider held a crown and bow. He asked the stranger why. In the end times, this rider will destroy men, he explained, without striking a blow. He'll do it without men being able to see, and that's why he carries the bow. The second rider rode hard as the first, and Frank saw his horse was blood red. He's been given that sword in his hand to wage war, the stranger said. As the second rider passed, the third rode hard to the attack. Now Frank feared for his life, because the color of this horse was black. And as the black horse approached, Frank turned to the stranger in horror, when the stranger explained that the black horse represents disease and death from the war. The last rider loped on by, and he rode on a pale horse. He stopped and said, "My name is Death. My devastation's the worst." As they rode out of sight, Frank turned to the stranger and asked, "Will these events happen soon, or will there be some time to pass?" The stranger replied that time is not your concern. It is your job this message to spread, so men's souls in hell won't burn. The stranger explained that without Christ, tribulation you must face, and what you've seen is only the beginning of what's going to happen to the human race. So ride hard across the range, warn all of what you've seen. These future events on earth are what life without Christ will mean. So Frank committed himself that night to tell all whose path he crossed to turn their lives to Jesus Christ, or their souls forever will be lost. Prophecy of the Four Horsemen, written in the 6th chapter of the book of Revelation. Think about it.